All right, let's get right into it. For pretty much as long as tennis has been a thing, there's been one piece of advice drilled into players everywhere. It's simple, it's easy to remember, and it might just be the biggest lie in the entire sport. You've heard it a million times, right? From your first coach, from that old training manual you found. Take your racket back. It sounds like the most basic, fundamental thing you need to do to hit a good forehand.
But what if I told you that focusing on that one little phrase is actually killing your power? And even worse, what if it's the very thing setting you up for nagging pain and serious, game-ending injuries? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. So let's really frame the problem here. This advice, even if it's well-intentioned, comes from a total misunderstanding of where real power comes from in tennis. It actually makes you focus on and isolate completely the wrong part of your body. You see, when you consciously think, okay, I have to take my racket back, your brain tells your arm and shoulder to do all the work. You pull it back and then you try to muscle it forward. In the tennis world, we call this arming the ball, and it's a huge trap that so many recreational players fall into.
So what's the big deal, right? Well, trying to generate all your pace with just your arm isn't just a little inefficient. It's actively bad for your game. And the price you pay for this bad advice, it's a lot higher than you'd think.
Let's just be crystal clear about what happens. First, you get way less power because your smaller arm muscles are no match for the big muscles in your core and legs. Second, you get terrible control because trying to muscle the ball is just super inconsistent. Your movement is clunky, and the big one, you are seriously increasing your risk of getting hurt. And this brings us to a really key point from the medical side of things. As Dr. Borgstrom over at Mass General Brigham points out, an overuse injury isn't just about playing too many hours, it's about using your body the wrong way. Arming the ball is the textbook definition of using your arm the wrong way.
This bad technique puts a ton of unnatural stress on your joints. We're talking tendinitis, we're talking carpal tunnel, and of course, the dreaded tennis elbow. And look, these aren't just little aches and pains. These are the kinds of injuries that can put you on the sidelines for months. Okay, so if taking the racket back is the lie, then what's the truth? This is where we get into what the pros really do. It's a concept called the unit turn, and it's all about shifting the focus away from your arm and onto your core. It's all in the hips and shoulders. Now this slide, this really lays it all out. The myth tells you to take the racket back. The reality? You turn your shoulders. The myth says to use your arm muscles with forced effort. The reality? You use your core and torso to create a smooth, fluid motion. The racket isn't being pulled back, it's just going along for the ride. And get this. This is the mind-blowing part. We have proof from biomechanical studies. Researchers actually found that pros and advanced players use way less muscle activation in their arms than intermediate players do. Just let that sink in for a second. More power, more control, with less effort. It's all about being efficient, not about brute force.
This efficiency isn't some kind of magic, it's just physics. And to really get the unit turn, we need to look at the science behind a great forehand. This is where you learn to let the laws of motion do all the heavy lifting for you.
The whole thing is built on a concept called the kinetic chain. See, power starts from the ground up. You push off with your legs, that energy travels up through your hips and torso as they rotate, and then, boom, that energy gets unleashed through your arm into the racket. Every single link in that chain adds more and more speed.
A really great way to picture this is to think about a double pendulum. Your body, your torso, and shoulder rotating, that's the first big pendulum. And your arm and the racket, that's the second, smaller pendulum attached to it.
Now here's the secret sauce. For that second pendulum, your arm, to swing at its absolute fastest, the first pendulum, your body, has to actually slow down its rotation right before you hit the ball. This sudden deceleration is like a catapult. It transfers all that energy you built up and just whips the arm and racket through contact.
And this chart just shows the result perfectly. Your body turning, the shoulder and trunk rotation, that gets the swing started. It accounts for about 25% of the racket speed. But the real magic, the real payoff, is that handoff. The whip-like action it creates in your arm is responsible for a whopping 75% of your racket head speed.
Okay, so that's the science. Now let's put it all together. How do we actually do this on the court and unlock all that natural power we have?
A big question that always comes up here is about that windshield wiper finish you see all the pros do. A lot of players try to force that motion, thinking it's the secret to topspin. But nope, it's just like taking the racket back. It's another misunderstanding. The windshield wiper is an effect, not a cause.
This quote from a player on Reddit just nails it. If you do a proper unit turn and you keep your arm relaxed, the laws of physics will literally create that windshield wiper motion for you as your arm naturally slows down. You don't have to think about it, it just happens.
All right, let's do a quick drill you can try right now, even without a ball. First, stand sideways to the net. Now, for step 2, don't pull your arm back. Just turn your shoulders and your torso away from the net. Got it? Okay. Step 3, let your arm and racket just feel heavy and loose. Just let them follow that turn. And finally, step 4, start the swing by unwinding your body. Feel that? That little lag and then a whip? That is the feeling you are chasing.
So, if you remember one thing, just one thing from all this, please let it be this. Stop thinking about the takeback. Start focusing on the turn. Your arm is not the engine of your forehand, it's the whip. Your only job is to rotate your body and let that whip crack.
And that really leaves you with one last question to take with you to the court. The next time you're out there hitting, just ask yourself, am I trying to force this, to muscle my technique, or am I finally letting the beautiful laws of physics do the work for me?